I'm excited to share with you a video that compares the existing Wethos interface to our brand new refreshed UI. And I'm here to walk you through some of the differences, similarities, and the enhanced capabilities that you're going to get through our new improved Wethos AI. So let me start by grounding you in the familiar. And I'm going to start here on my Wethos Style page or my profile page. So here, as you know, you can view your Wethos style. So in this case, I'm a 5541. I can have a visual representation here through the kinetic view. Or alternatively, I can look at the more traditional scientific view that we have here, and of course, switch between the two. Beneath this is where I can start to learn about myself. So I have some summarization content here about some of my professionality traits and behaviors in the workplace. And the Wethos style is broken down into these four scales here. Ideas, which is all about how I process and express ideas. Relational, how I engage with emotions for myself and others in the workplace. The action scale, which is all about asserting your force of will to get things done. And the order scale, which is how you structure and complete work. And as you can see, I can flick between all of these tabs here, and then I can read about it in terms of what my natural behaviors are, things to be aware of, areas where I'm at my best, and some areas for development. So that is the existing profile page. I'm going to contrast that now with the new interface. So I'm just going to click over here. And this is what the new profile page looks like. So now we've made it visually much more appealing, but that's just the start because there's a lot of additional great features that we've brought into place here. But let's start with the aesthetics. I have this banner here that I can edit and customize. So I can upload my own banner. I can generate a new image with AI that is built in. I can do the same for my profile picture. And then if I look down here, this is where I get a summarization of myself, my skills. I can still view the kinetic chart here or the scientific chart, depending on my visual preferences. I can get a quick overview of my styles in a visual form here, my ideas, relational, action, and order, and where I am on there. I get to see the teams that I'm part of, and then also view any upcoming meetings that I have for the day here. But here's where things start to get interesting. So you saw on the previous page that I had text that I can read about myself. So here we've made it a lot more digestible by providing this summarization content here across the scales, ideas, relational, action, and order. But I can also jump in and I can learn more about this. And this gets me interfacing with WethosXO. WethosXO is our AI-powered assistant coach that helps you through your workday. It has been trained on the Wethos behavioral science, and everywhere within this new application, it remains in context. I can read in more detail all about what it means to be an Ideas 5. But what I can also do is I can follow up with some of these recommended prompts here, or I can ask a question of my own choosing and deep dive further. But in this case, I'm going to click on one of the recommended prompts and find some tips on how I can use my Ideas 5 style effectively at work. And you'll notice that this is a common theme throughout the interface here, that everything is contextual, either of the individual or of the teams. You'll see later on in this video, also as it extends to calendars and meetings as well. The other thing that I wanted to show is that if you wanted somewhere to get started, we have recommended prompts here. These are contextual. They change on a periodic basis. So keep coming back here to look for more areas that you can dive into. So for example, here, maybe I want to deep dive on the impact of my Wethos style on my communication. How does it influence me? And then once again, XO will talk me through that, and I'll have the opportunity to ask as many follow-on questions as I like here to truly understand myself. Okay. So that is the new profile page that we have within the product. Now I'm going to go back to the existing interface and we're going to look at the Teams section. Here, I can take a look at my team once again. I can choose between scientific or kinetic graph here. I can see the team's cognitive diversity. I can see outliers, or I can look for any team biases that may exist, as well as techniques to navigate around them. I can also look for individual biases on the team and once again, get an understanding of what they are and some techniques to navigate around those as well. And then down here is where I start to get the summarization content of the team itself. And then we can dive into each of the Wethos scales, ideas. And I can see who in the group is similar or different, in which case the four of us are all the same on the ideation scale. On the relational scale, we're a little bit different, but I can read about that and so on and so forth when it comes to action and order. So that's the existing team page. Now I'm going to contrast that with what we have in the new interface and go into my team here. And once again, you'll see that we have the banner, we have the avatar. I can get a quick summarization of this team itself. I can view the kinetic chart or the scientific chart and flick between the two as before. I can see the cognitive diversity of the team in summarization content. I can also drill in and take a look at some of the outliers and also how best to use them. So in this case, Fabio and Jessica are bringing some concreteness to the team and looking at practical considerations of implementing ideas. So that's how I can use them to their strengths. I can drill in and see the individual members of the team, get some summarization there. I can jump in and go and view their profile. I can look at the biases that we've had before. And what I might want to do is not only read about it in summary here, but maybe go and learn more through WethosXO. So here, WethosXO is not only giving me an understanding of what the innovation bias is, but it also is keeping it in the context of the team itself. So not only does it understand the bias, understands the team dynamics, it understands all of the individuals on the team, all contextual. And of course, I can ask any follow-up questions as I see fit. And like we saw on the individual profile page, we now have this very, very consistent flow where we can start with prompt cards here that will give me an understanding of how I can really understand this team a lot more. For example, how would my idea style fit within the group? I might want to ask that prompt, and then XO will walk me through that. Once again, everything being contextual here. And as before, I can go as deep as I want by asking any follow-up questions I may have. So that is the team feature. Okay, now let's go back to the existing interface. The next thing that I want to show you is the dashboard on the existing interface. So here you can see that I get this graphic of my Wethos style, and I can also navigate into my team, into any project teams, or jump straight into working together from this particular dashboard. Now I want to show you what that looks like in our new dashboard capability here. And once again, everything is contextual and is in context of you, your teams, and even your day, because here we now start to bring in calendar events. And with these calendar events, I can deep dive into any of these and get advice and guidance straight from my dashboard page. So perhaps I want some guidance on the behavioral engineering sync up meeting that we have coming up later today. So here I get a breakdown of everybody that's on the team. I get some advice that I get straight from XO in terms of how I can best prepare for the meeting. But I can also ask follow-up questions. And I've noticed here there's no agenda. So let's say, can you prepare an agenda will lead us to concrete decisions, the end of the meeting, what might be some challenges we all face being concrete. And here we can see that XO goes through and provides me an agenda. And it is in context, once again, of everybody that is on the team. It is in context of making sure that we meet our goals. And also called out in particular what are some of the challenges that we may have. And XO has given me that advice and guidance. The other things I can do is jump straight from here into the different prompts that we have. So we have a new member of our enterprise here. Maybe I want to find out about security a little bit more. So I can just click on that prompt and then I'm straight into XO, and then XO can give me a full breakdown of security. And once again, I can start to ask any additional follow-up questions as well as reading the advice that we have here. So that is the new dashboard page. Lastly, I wanted to talk about working together. So this is the existing working together feature. So once again, I brought to this page, I get to see my kinetic chart or scientific chart. I can search for anybody else within my enterprise that I might want to work with. So let's say here, I want to work with AD. And then down below, I can read about how we will engage with each other across the different Wethos style, the ideas, relational, action, and order. And I can also type in here into the prompts a project that we might be working on. So let's say AD and I are going to build a boat together. I will submit that. And then XO is going to give me a breakdown of the different tasks that we have between us, as well as the reasoning as to how XO came up with that particular breakdown. So that's how working together works currently. Now what I'm going to do is go back into XO and show you this global search feature. So here I can search for any individual or any team. So in this case, I'm going to search for AD again. I'm taken straight to their profile. So I get a summary of AD. In this instance, I get a breakdown of the style, so ideas, relational, action, and order. And I can jump straight into XO and I'll get some helpful prompts that I can just click on. But what I'm going to do is ask XO a question of my own choosing. So I'm going to say, how can AD and I best work together on building a boat? Give me a detailed analysis. See how we do it, and then conclude by giving a high-level task breakdown, the steps involved, I each to either AD or myself based on our Wethos. Now, the advantage we have here, of course, is not only this interactive element, WethosXO, and getting a full breakdown of how AD and I can work together on this task, but like before, I can follow up with XO and ask it any question that I may have. So here I asked for a pretty detailed breakdown. So that's what you're seeing here. I'm going through all of the analysis, as you can see live. So plenty to read here. And then we have that high-level task breakdown between myself and AD on how best we can complete the task of building a boat. So that is how we would engage with that working together feature. So in summary, WethosAI has been improved significantly and making it a lot easier for you to use, giving you these jumping off points, full flexibility of using WethosXO to ask any question that you may have. We have made it easier with our global search to find anybody within the product or any team that you're part of, the ability to fully customize your profile. You can continue to create as many project teams as you like. And once again, XO will be in context of all of those project teams. So if I jump in here, maybe I want to pick the product marketing team here. I get a summarization up the top of the team members, the cognitive diversity, any biases it may have. And then I can just jump in and get straight into the product marketing details here. And once again, have a fully contextual XO. So that is true across both my team and the project teams. So thank you very much for spending the time with us and going through this overview. We really look forward to you enjoying and trying out these features. We'll be back with another video soon.